Two, three, I was saying that. Okay, one more before I feed the cats and shit. Okay, where was I? Um. Okay, Judd and Rusty. They just go like Hershey's. They're great at the 69. That's nice that the father is his own son's pimp. That's fucked up. The Gov sits down at the table. That won't be necessary. Just join me, and that will be enough. Now go ahead and sit down and eat. I know you're. Before he can finish his sentence, everyone swarms the table and starts ravaging the food like a bunch of wild pigs. The Gov. Hungry. At that moment, they suddenly hear the doors open again, and two new men come in. Everyone pauses in their savagery and stare at the new guys, unsure if they should be ashamed of their uncivilization or not. Everyone has food on their faces and are sucking their fingers and stuff like that. They just look like freaking cave people. The two new guys are as different as can be. One of them is mean looking and scowling, wearing a military outfit that's all black and olive. He's a don't fuck with me badass third generation Italian American motherfucker with a pistol strapped to each leg and a knife on his belt and at John Stamos looking hair. The older guy is slightly older, weathered looking scientist in a lab coat. Many a faint blood-stained handprint can be seen on his clothes. He has fried-out looking hair and unfocused and fried-out looking eyes behind his Ben Franklin-style spectacles. Kind of like if you go to a doctor's office and the doctor walks in reeking of whiskey and licking the last traces of cocaine off of his dirty-ass lapel. Like, what the fuck? The two of them sit down at the table, one on either side of the governor. The Gov. I hope you don't mind these fine gentlemen joining us for dinner. Army guy lights a cigarette and puts his boots up on the table. Scientist coughs and hacks violently into his sleeve. The Gov, pouring the wine again. These are my right and left hands of Cadbury. Rose, he points out the army guy, is captain of all defense and security here. And this is the doctor. He gestures to the scientist. Not like Doctor Who. He rules over the more academic endeavors. The governor smiles coyly over the rim of his glass. Scientific matters and such. He motions to all of them. Sit down, everybody. Relax, eat, enjoy yourselves, as the young folks say these days. Have a chill sesh. They all have no choice but to do as he says. Rose and... It's funny because it's like, I know it's Rhodes, like Rhode Island, but when I was little, I thought it was Rose, and I like that better. Because I like the juxtaposition, like he's like this hard-ass motherfucking army dude. I think he's the captain is his rank. And I like the idea that his name is Rose. It's cool. He's my favorite character, by the way, in Day of the Dead. I fucking hate, what's her face? Sarah, I think is her name, the fucking protagonist. I'm pissed at her for drugging her boyfriend against his will, and I'll never forgive her for that shit. I don't give a fuck if she's a strong female character, she's a bitch. She's a motherfucking bitch. I love the way that Rose goes against her and that he tells her he's gonna, like, blow her head off and shit like that. Fuck Sarah. I hate that bitch. I hate that bitch. I like Rose. Anyways, where was I? Okay. They all have no choice but to do as he says. Rose and the doc sit pretty in their places, like princes of the harem, and they waste no time in getting their drink on. Everyone is like, when in Rome, and they all take seats around the table as they get down to eating the glorious dinner, being gazed upon by the decorative and vacant eyes of all the taxidermy animal heads, and the decorative and vacant eyes of all the stone silly college kids. Yeah, it's like creepy. It's like, it makes me think of kind of like a Clockwork Orange or something type of vibe, or like one of those movies where it's like, they literally just have whores there, like, not even necessarily to fuck, like, whores that are literally just acting as living statues, to just be naked and just be in the room, as, like, part of the decoration of the room, you know? Like, that's kind of the type of creepiness I was going for, like, it's so decadent. They literally just use living human beings as statues and decoration, and just give them drugs, as, like, repayment, you know, to make them do it. The camera pounds down to show Carl sitting on the floor under the long-ass table with someone's legs around him. Well, with everyone's legs around him. Because under the table, all the adults' legs are there. Not looking too enthused. Carl. Ugh. What a bunch of boring grown-up shit. Kyoko pops out from behind him. You want to play a game? Carl. I just automatically do that in like the Jigsaw voice. That's just funny. Carl, what game? Kyoko. I don't know. I saw an air vent over in the corner. Want to play Five Nights at Freddy's 3? That gives you a little bit of time span for this. Carl, sure. Kyoko. Okay, you be Springtrap. I'll be the security guard. Come find me. Before Carl can say or do anything, Kyoko turns and runs off, giggling. You know what's so cute? Is I was delivering an Instacart order one time, and it was like some hella suburban neighborhood, just like some upper middle class suburban place, somewhere in the East Bay, I can't remember. And I was walking to the house, because, I couldn't park right in front, there wasn't parking, so I parked, like, down the street, and I was walking, and I was carrying the bags, and I walked by these two little boys. They were probably, like, 8 years old or some shit like that, and they were playing basketball outside, and they were like, I want to be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, however you say his name, and he was like, no, I want to be Kareem Abdul, no, I want to be Kareem Abdul, and I was like... That's just, like, so cute. Like, I don't know. It's just, like, talk about, like, a blending of, like, cultures. I don't know. Maybe I'm stupid, but I thought it was cute. You wouldn't hear that shit in the 50s, let me tell you. Where was I? Before Carl can say or do anything, Kyoko turns and runs off, giggling. He slips out of the room without any of the adults noticing, and disappears from view. Carl, hey, no fair! Well, at least he had a good idea. He follows Kyoko out from under the table, past all the oblivious adults, and goes out into the velvety hallway. There he sees the vent in the wall, close to the floor, practically inviting him to crawl in. Carl takes a breath, straightens his hat, and hitches up his pants, always just like his daddy. Carl, Geronimo Bay! He takes off the vent cover and crawls in. Meanwhile, back at dinner, the governor, starting to get kind of tipsy. Hey, how do you all like a little music with your meal? Rochelle, also getting tipsy. Oh, I love music. Tyree, yeah, I heard it's good for your digestion, too. That's from The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, my second favorite movie of all time. The governor laughs. Alright, music it is. He leans over to one of the college kids. The governor, would you be so kind? The college girl gets up and goes out of the room. She comes back in like 4.2 seconds with a little boombox type of deal. Puts it on the table. Then she goes back to her decorative brothers and sisters. The governor points out Rick. You, here, come dance for us. Rick. He does the emoji. Me? Why me? I can't dance. The governor. Oh, sure you can. Well, alright, if you can't dance, then sing. Rick. I can't sing. The governor. Anyone can sing. It's called lip syncing. He hands Rick a spoon. Here, do your thing. That's from fucking, what is that movie? It's a Hammer movie and it has a werewolf and it has the dude from Oliver Twist, the guy with the blue eyes. That's where I got that line from in the very, very beginning. The Marquis, who's a fucking asshole. He's like, that homeless guy comes to him and he's like, I want food or something, and he's like, but it's the opposite way. He's like, oh, then you have to sing. And he's like, I can't sing. And he's like, then you can dance. And he's like, I can't dance. And he's like, anyone can dance. And then he makes the dude dance for like a fucking turkey leg or some shit. Anyways, whatever. Rick, dumbstruck. Curly nudges him. Go ahead, baby, go for it. Shane, yeah, show him what you got. Rick, it's okay, I don't really wanna. Curly, come on, do it. She pushes him playfully. Judd, yeah, go for it, man. Glenn, yeah. Everyone starts adding in their own 2 cents, talking over each other and stuff, and saying they want to see him sing. Rick blushes. There's not really anything he can do. He just has to give in to the peer pressure of the drunken mob. Rick, okay. Everyone else, yay! Rick stands up with the spoon and goes up in front of the room full of people. The governor puts a cassette in the boombox and cranks it on, and that little rockin' tune comes out. Even Rick can't help but to get down and groove a little bit to the music, despite his self-consciousness. Okay, he's singing to, what was her name? Janis Joplin. I don't know why I connected this song to this. Maybe it was just random. I was just hearing it at the time, and I was like, I just want to put it in the parody. I don't know. Who knows? It was a simpler time in my life. Where was I? Rick. Lip syncing to the song. Didn't I make you feel like you were the only man? Yeah, didn't I give you nearly everything that a woman possibly can? Honey, you know I did. Meanwhile, Carl is crawling through the vent system in the wall. Hearing something, he creeps down to the end of one vent and peeks through. He looks down through the ceiling to find himself looking at a big-ass fighting arena. Rick. But each time I tell myself that I think I've had enough. Well, but I'm gonna show you, baby, that a woman can be tough. All the spectators are gathered around, watching a battle in the center ring like a gladiator show. All the crowd is screaming and cheering as three women fight off a horde of zombies using only long sticks. Michonne, Andrea, and that goth girl from Land of the Dead. Rick. I want you to come on, take it. Take another little piece of my heart now, baby. Take another little piece of my heart. My heart, yeah. Take another little piece of my heart now, baby. The three gladiators tear up the zombies hella savagely, splattering their body parts and blood all over the place like it's a violent comic book. Hey, wait a minute. Every time they do something really fucked up and gory, the crowd just cheers that much louder as Carl watches from inside the vent. Rick. Well, you know you got it if it makes you feel good. Oh, yes, indeed. I kind of forgot the tune of that song, but you know what it is. Play it if you want. Everyone at dinner claps for him as he stands up there blushing. Meanwhile, Carl watches the three of them with awe as Michonne knocks the zombie's legs out from under it and then stands on the zombie while fighting off others with her pole. No doubt about it, she's a star player tonight, on top of her game and everything. The crowd cheers wildly, and they all put their hands out and do the thumbs down sign. Michonne nods to the crowd. Then she stomps on the zombie's head and busts his skull like a bloody-ass honeydew melon. The crowd goes wild once again, and Michonne blows kisses to them. Carl, like Keanu Reeves. Whoa. Smooth transition back to the dining room. By now everyone is fully wined and dined and hell loose. Just chatting it up, you know, how things always go when you have a bunch of people around the same dinner table. Especially when there's alcohol flowing. Pan over to show Shane and Glenn, staring off into space with fully glazed over expressions. That would probably be me. Shane. I don't feel so good. Oh, right, I forgot they got drugged. Glenn smiles. Really? I feel great. It's like a million E's in the great. His voice slows down to that low psychedelic register as Shane's whole reality starts to distort. You know how they do that effect in movies. Well, I'm using it too. Shane grips the edge of the table. Meanwhile, the drunk-ass governor is just leaning back, chewing on a toothpick, and looking around at his new flock as people start passing out one by one all around the table. The governor. I guess we should take our guests to where they can rest. Rose and the doc get up, and so does the governor. They start picking people up out of their chairs, slinging their arms over their shoulders and carrying them out of the room. Shane, slurring. Hey, what's going on? He drags himself up on his feet, swaying, trying to follow them. But his head spins like that lady at the beginning of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, when she sees Angel Eyes kill her family, and he passes out on the floor. Then we just get some dark and silence. Cut to a short time later. Carl wanders back to the dining room and pushes the door open. Carl. Hey, you guys, guess what I found? He realizes them as he opens the door fully and looks around, that the whole room is completely empty and abandoned. All the food is cleaned up without a trace. Even all the decorative sexy and non-sexy college kids are gone. Only the taxidermied animal heads on the walls remain. Carl. Typical grown-ups. You start trying to tell them something interesting and they just wander away on you. He pauses for a few moments. Then he goes over and sits at the head of the table. He takes out a pair of headphones and starts listening to the theme music from The Godfather. Isn't it go something like that? Carl, oh yeah. Cut to a new scene. Oh, I guess it was more like, oh yeah. Cut to a new scene. A creepy fluorescent light flickers on. The camera pans down, showing a room with nursery-esque wallpaper and a bunch of mattresses and pillows on the floor. All our drugged-out heroes are laid out limp on the bedding, while Rose stands by the door smoking a cigarette, and the doc is brushing Barbara's hair like a life-size Barbie. Doc. Pretty. Meanwhile, the Gov is busy setting up a home movie on a tripod. The Gov. Call me an old-fashioned kind of guy, but what's dinner without a movie? He chuckles to himself. Alright, guys, let's get things rolling. We ain't got forever, you know. This ain't some damn Peter Jackson flick. He puts another cassette tape in the boombox and Madonna's Vogue starts playing as a montage begins. The governor and his cronies open the closet door, revealing a bunch of theatrical outfits and costumes. I would love to have that. Edited in a totally cool music video type of way. They pull everyone's clothes off and redress them in ridiculous outfits and theater makeup, while all the victims are just flopping around like limp mannequins. 15 minutes later, they have Pretty Boy and Hershey's dressed in Shakespearean outfits, and Rose, still smoking, and the doc are ventriloquist dummying them with shitty quality. Rose, in a crappy falsetto, clearly not enjoying himself. But Daddy, I love him! I love him! He moves Pretty Boy's arms around and stuff while sitting behind her on the mattress, trying to make it look like she's gesturing dramatically. Doc, puppeting Hershey's. I forbid it. No daughter of mine is going to be seen with a goddamn Montague. Rose. I hate you, Daddy. I can't stand you. I'm gonna run away and get pregnant. Doc. Shut up, you little bitch. He makes Hershey's slap Pretty Boy with a really crappy, weak-ass slap. Her head flops to the side and her little 50-cent tiara falls off. Rose mutters to himself. Christ on a fucking escalator. He reaches down to pick up the tiara. The Gov. No, leave it. It was brilliant. He sips on a new cup of wine. Alright, cut and print this one. Let's move on to Broken Back Mounting. Doc. It's called Brokeback Mountain. The Gov. Hey, who's the director here? You or me? Doc. ... The governor. That's what I thought. He glances around. Where's that deputy? He was perfect for this role. Rose. Deputy? Oh, I forgot to tell you. Your daughter was here earlier. Cue that to cut to a new scene. We see from Shane's point of view as he groggily opens his eyes. At first, you know the drill. Everything starts out all blurry, but gradually he sees clearly. He finds himself in a white laboratory room, tied to a table like he's in a state-run crazy house, and surrounded by ridiculous gizmos and gadgets and scientific doohickeys and machines like in a 1940s sci-fi movie. The white-haired woman in black, Unique, is standing over him. You know, all pretty standard. Shane, speechless. Unique, not feeling well, hey? We'll fix you up right away. Shane, where the hell am I? Unique ignores his question, calls across the room. Fritz, come here! A small impish dude comes creeping over to her out of nowhere, all cowering like a dog. Unique, Fritz. Sie befinden sich hier nie, wenn ich dich brauche. I'm sure I said it all fucked up, but okay. She shoves a clipboard into his hands and starts moving around the room, adjusting all her gizmos and gadgets and things. Unique, half talking to Shane, half talking to herself. Everyone around here is an idiot. They're too dumb and too scared to denken. They hide in a Cadbury mansion where they feel safe, trinken and drugen zu nehmen, trying to forget the zombie. None of them are brave enough to do what I do. Ich verbringe meine Zeit mit dem Versuch, die Zombie zu besiegen. If I can create a zombie of my own, I can understand their weaknesses. Das, Geheimnis der Controller. I could find a way to rule them all, and bend them to my will. Ha 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 ha. One of the gadgets flickers with light as she does her evil laugh. Shane. Shit on hell. I done fell into a whole other horror genre. He does what any average person would do. Struggle with all his strength against his straps and call for help. Shane. Help! Help! Somebody! Rape! Fire! Again with the rape bullshit. Unique quickly slaps a piece of duct tape over his mouth. Duct tape fixes everything. Shane. Unique. Ruh! You shouldn't waste your breath anyway. No one will hear you in this hell. Besides, don't fret, Liebchen. She strokes his hair creepily. You may very well learn to enjoy it. But in either case, no one will come to your rescue. Suddenly, right when she says that, of course, the door to her lab bangs open, kicked open by the doc. Doc. Narcotics raid! He laughs to himself. I've always wanted to say that. Rose comes to the doorway. I've said it. It loses its charm pretty quick. Unique rolls her eyes, exasperated. She curses under her breath in German. Must I keep the door bolt-locked at all times? I thought you two were occupied. The governor walks in, wearing a sombrero, bare-chested with his shirt totally open, and carrying a couple of beers. The gov. Lighten up, sweetie. We're having a rap party. Here, have a Cuervo. He hands her a beer. Unique. Ugh. She goes stomping off out of the room all pissed off, with Fritz scampering after her. The governor. What, did you want a Heineken instead? Okay, I'm gonna leave it on that note right there.